Hey guys, welcome to the weekly question video where we answer your questions. If you want to leave us a question, all the details on how to do that is down below, as well as a link to our Patreon if you want to support what we're doing and get bonus content in the process. So today's question is, what do you feel like, what are your thoughts on daily maintenance spankings? So just as a refresher, a maintenance spanking is a spanking that is not for fun, but it's not a punishment. It's for direction, and it's for to assert roles, and we have a whole video on the role of maintenance, and I'll link that down below. But it is a spanking that does still have some structure to it. It's not for just everybody's enjoyment. It is definitely corrective and directive in nature, but it's not a punishment. So it doesn't hit those higher levels of pain to bring corrective action through a punishment, because when you're in a punishment, you really are looking more towards like punishing the behavior, making sure that the taken in hand regrets the behavior that led to the punishment, and you're also trying to bring restoration back into the relationship, where maintenance is just there to kind of assert roles and maintain mindsets, maintain structure. So that is kind of what a maintenance spanking is. So my thoughts on daily maintenance. We've used daily maintenance before in our relationship, Coda and I. We have done daily maintenance during our boot camps. We have used daily maintenance in our relationship to kind of reestablish our roles and get back into the swing of things after we kind of got off track for a little while. And personally, I really like the idea of daily maintenance. I think that if it's something that is feasible to your relationship, to your schedules, if it's something that you're head of household and taken in hand, if you're both in agreement this is something that is beneficial to your relationship, I say go for it. It's not something that's going to take away from your relationship. It really does add to it. We don't use daily maintenance right now because our schedules just don't allow for that. And I think that, it's just not something that works for where we are in our stage of life right now. But there's nothing wrong with daily maintenance. It can definitely be a benefit, but you don't have to have daily maintenance in order to get the benefits of maintenance or to get the benefits of connection. And honestly, I would look at that too. Are you wanting daily maintenance because you just want more connection to each other? And if that's the case, you can facilitate connection without maintenance, but there's nothing wrong if your preferred method of connection is spanking and is maintenance. Now, if you're taken in hand and you're like, I just need the structure, I need the structure of maintenance, but my head of household just is not available. It doesn't work in our schedules. It doesn't work in how we, our season of life right now. But I really need that structure. You can do think outside the box for what constitutes maintenance. You don't have to have spanking in order to have a form of daily maintenance. And what I mean by that is you can look at these non-spanking, what we use as non-spanking punishments, and use those as a form of daily maintenance. A lot of people, even outside of domestic discipline, like to do a gratitude journal. And so think of the concept of a gratitude journal, but make it more specific to domestic discipline and the goals that you're trying to accomplish through daily maintenance. So instead of just general gratitude, have it be gratitude towards your head of household. What is something about your head of household that you are grateful for, that you're thankful for, that you admire? And just kind of write out just a small, it doesn't have to be long because again, it's not a punishment. It doesn't have to be any certain length. but just write out a few sentences or a few paragraphs, depending on if you really like writing and that's not hard for you. But write out just a short, a few sentences or more, depending on what you like, about what you're grateful for in your relationship, in the structure from your head of household. Like, what is it that just really brings you joy and fulfillment in your relationship, and write about that. You could also think of like writing lines, right? When I am given lines as a punishment, it's at least 50 or more, depending on what's going on. And so if I'm doing daily lines as just a form of maintenance, I'll do 10, because again, it doesn't need to hit those levels of punishment. But I'll do 10, and I'll make it more of an affirmation rather than a declaration of a misbehavior. I'll make it more of an affirmation of like, I will yield to my head of household's authority today, or I always follow the rules, or whatever I need my mindset to be set on. I will do that so that I just kind of start my day, and I try to do it in the morning, where I can start my day with just this mindset of maintaining the structure of my relationship. And so those are just a few ideas. I'm sure there's other things. I would love to know your suggestions for non-physical, maintenance, if, for lack of a better term, that a taken in hand can take the initiative to do to maintain the structure and mindset on her end when her head of household is not available to facilitate that. And you can ask your head of household, you can say, look, I know that maintenance spanking right now is not feasible on a daily schedule, but can you give me some sort of direction of things that I can do that don't require your direct involvement? So maybe they can give you that phrase of affirmation to write out 10 times. Maybe they can give you, something to research that would pour into your relationship or help you develop. So they can still be involved, even if they don't have time to facilitate that process with you. They can say, write this out or go do this. And so still involve your head of household, because I think that one of the things that breaks my mindset as a taken in hand faster than almost anything else is starting to think outside of the authority of my head of household. So trying to make decisions or trying to be independent in how I conduct myself. And I don't ask his opinion, and I don't ask his permission, or I don't ask his direction in what I'm doing and how I'm going about things. That almost puts me in this mindset of being the driver in our relationship, and that just takes me outside of that taken in hand role. So if the point of doing daily maintenance is to maintain mindset and is to maintain purpose within my role, doing it outside of their authority really doesn't facilitate that process. So definitely go to them, ask for their help, ask for their direction in this, and make sure that you tell them, like, look, I know that you do not have time or energy to facilitate this process. Here's what I was thinking. I was thinking about writing out some lines just to put me in the proper headspace. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you want to give me phrases to write out, or do you want me to come up with them on my own? Do you want to check them? And just ask all those questions and have that conversation so that they are still the ones making the decision and giving the direction at the end of the day. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk to you next time.